before I go on to the main materials, probably Bu Pipit, can you show the song first? Hello song. Let's sing together, yeah. Because in TEYL, this is very important that the teacher can sing songs, yeah. The song, yes. I'm sorry, I cannot show mine because I have trouble with my laptop. 30 minutes before the song.
Okay.
Songs and chants.
Please hang on a second. I'm going to reopen it. Okay. All right.
Okay, just take your time.
It's opening. Let me now share the screen.
Oops.
This one, right, Ibu?
Yes, the second page. Yes.
Okay. Oops. This one.
Wait. The song and chant. Can you open it? The one that you've just shown. That one.
This one, Ibu.
Yes. Yes. The second page.
Hello song. Hello song. This one.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a moment. Bu Pipit, wait a moment. Wait a moment. I need something to do. Wait.
Okay.
In 1 minute, ya, Bu Pipit, wait a minute. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so let's start the singing. Yeah. Okay, so because this is the what's it, when you start the class, make sure that you give the student a song. Children love singing, so if you don't need to worry whether your voice is good, as beautiful as Raisa or as beautiful as Afgan. Yeah, the important thing is you can control your pitch. Yeah, for example, like do re mi fa sol la si do. You don't need to have, for example, like hello, something like that. No, you just make it simple. Yeah. Hello, hello, how are you? So that's the start of the song. Yeah. So later on, probably I'm going to ask one of you to sing. Yeah. Listen to me first. Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? How are you today? Sounds familiar? Yeah, but the lyrics are modified. Yeah. Okay. The next part. How are you today? I am fine. I am great. I am fine. I'm just great. I am fine. I am great. I'm very well today. Okay. So let's sing together. And later on, I'm going to ask one of you to sing, yeah? Or any volunteers, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? How are you today? I am fine. I am great. I am fine. I am great. Sorry, I'm just great. I am fine. I am great. I'm very well today. Yeah. Okay, now, who will try to sing? Raise your hand or unmute yourself. Tenang, suaranya boleh rada belok dikit boleh. Yuk, who will try? Come on. Ardia, probably you want to try?
Boleh,
Yes.
Miss.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? How are you today?
I
I am fine.
fine. I am great.
I am fine. I'm
I'm
just
just
great.
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 I
I
I
am
am.
fine. I am great. I'm very well today.
Yay! Excellent. Yeah. So you can use any songs that have been existed, yeah, to create a song. And you can just take from any kinds of videos, yeah, in YouTube, yeah. But what I usually suggest teachers and also the pre-service teachers, is better for you to create your own song, yeah. But you can just take from existing song that you can just modify the lyrics, yeah. So this is easy, right? So this is the start for when you start the class, then you can use the hello song, yeah. You can use this as routines. Whenever you come to your young learners class, sing a song, yeah. Okay, so this is one of the activities that children love. Okay, now you can just go to the next PowerPoint booklet. So you can just close this. Not this one, but okay, the mind the gap. Yes, this one. Okay, that one. Excellent. All right. So this is what we are going to discuss today. Uh, Mind the gap, acknowledging the gap from TYL theory to classroom practice. Yeah. Next slide, please. So what we are going to discuss today, not too much, only 3 points here. How children learn. The second is what teachers should do in teaching English to young learners, and gaps between theory and practice in TEYL. Next slide, please. Okay. Sorry. Go back to the previous slide. Okay, I want to ask you first. Can you write on the chat box what you know about children's characteristics? Write on the chat box. You can use any adjectives, characteristics, and be okay, spontaneous, talkative. What else? Overactive, overactive, and overreactive. What else? One, as far as you know, please write the children's characteristics. Curious. Okay, curious. What else? Energetic. Excellent. What else? Any other characteristics? Moody. Yes. Moody. Spontaneous, talkative, overactive, curious, energetic, moody. What else? Any others? No more? Seems like you agree with these characteristics. Yes, all of you are correct. Yeah. Oh, one more. Imaginative. Yes. Imaginative. It depends on the age of the students. Usually, for very young learners like TK, yeah, TK, probably until the first grade of primary levels. I guess they are still imaginative. Yeah, but after that, they feel like they can differentiate between uh, facts and fiction. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Hyperactive. Yes. Overactive or hyperactive. And then gratitude. Gratitude. You mean that the children love to thank? to thank people playing a lot. Yes, they love playing. Yes, thank you very much for putting the characteristics. Yes, you are right. Children are unique. That's what you have to think, yeah, to consider. Before you decide to teach them, you have to understand how children learn, the characteristics, and then how they learn. So you have written that there are some characteristics that children usually have. But again, it depends on the age and depends on the environment. But basically, what you have written is correct. Okay. Now, from the characteristics, let's see how children learn. Next slide, Bu Pipit. Yes. Children are not like adults, like you are doing right now. You can just sit still, listening to what I'm saying, and then trying to catch what I mean, trying to understand. But for children, they cannot do it. They will run here and there. For example, if the condition is not really interesting, they don't care. They will find something more interesting. Therefore, make them active. It's not like college students like us. We can just understand what the lecturer say, yeah, or the people say. But for children, let them learn by doing. Do a lot of practices. Jadi kalau ngajar anak-anak itu kalau bikin lesson plan, itu kegiatannya banyak. In 1 hour, there will be probably more than 5 activities. 5 minutes change, 10 minutes change. Ya, tidak seperti orang dewasa. 1 jam bisa sama kegiatannya. But for children, no way. They need to move. They need to do active activities. As Piaget say here, that they basically children learn by doing, by practicing. And then, according to Vygotsky, they also learn through social interaction. Therefore, you must put them in pairs, in groups, even though kalau anak TK, anak SD kelas 1, 2, masih milih-milih teman. Aku nggak mau sama ini, maunya sama si itu. Nah, ya, but that's okay. You can just make them understand that they have to work with different friends, different teams, but you must do it slowly. You cannot force them. Kamu harus sama si ini ya, kamu harus sama si itu ya. No, ya, let them choose the friends that probably they feel comfortable with. Okay, but make sure that in all activities, make them together in pairs or in groups, but not individual. Probably many teachers say that kayaknya kalau berkelompok mereka suka nggak mau ya. No, itu salah sebetulnya. Kalau anak-anak justru lebih senang bareng-bareng gitu ya. But again, it depends on whether the activities are interesting or not, and then how you can instruct them well. Okay. The third is, according to Brunner, learning through scaffolding by adults. You know scaffolding? It's just like building a house, dari mulai pondasinya dulu, and then after that rangkanya dulu ya, baru ke atap gitu ya. So make it step by step. Next slide please. This is the example of scaffolding to get further understanding ya. First is create interest in the task. So the tasks are not asking them to write directly or to read directly, or you force them to speak. Children start learning by listening. Ya, jadi kalau dari 4 skills in English kan ada listening, speaking, reading, writing. Susunannya seperti itu. Ya, start by listening. It's just like a baby. Baby, they listen since they were in the mommy's tummy. Right? Jadi walaupun ya ibu hamil, nanti ini mungkin kalau sudah menikah nanti hamil nih ibu-ibu, calon ibu-ibu. Nah, walaupun masih ada di dalam perut, you talk to your babies because they learn by listening. Ya, when they are born, and then you still keep talking to them, even though they cannot respond. Kan nggak mungkin langsung disuruh bilang mama, si bayi bilang mama, ruas atau ya nanti. Hah, kenapa bayi bisa ngomong gitu ya? No, of course, they catch everything people say around them. Makanya kenapa teaching language juga starting from listening. Let them listen, catch dulu, ditangkap dulu, and after that producing. Walaupun producingnya kan pelan-pelan. Ada yang cepat, ada yang lambat. So no worries. Jadi kalau ngajar anak-anak itu jangan memaksakan mereka, ini harus bisa ngomong, ini harus bisa menulis. No. Every child has different ways to learn and then different capability to catch what it means around them. Ya, jadi kenapa harus scaffolding? Start from interesting tasks or interesting activities like storytelling, song, or game. Ya, jadi kalau pengalaman aja ya, sering beberapa kali observing guru SD gitu ya, they ask the students directly to open the book, ya, and it's not effective. Ya, kita aja yang dewasa aja kalau tidak ada ice breaking dulu kayaknya tiba-tiba langsung. Tapi kan kalau dewasa kan nerima aja. But children, no, they need something fun. Dibangun dulu minat belajarnya, ya. Yaitu melalui storytelling, song dengan yang tadi sudah song, ini ada storytelling. Pernah mencoba storytelling or any storyteller here? Ada yang bisa bercerita di sini? Suka dongeng ke anak-anak? Nah, nanti saya kasih contoh ya, how you can tell story to children ya. Kalau game banyak, you can just find in Google ya. And then break the task down into smaller steps. Jadi harus sedikit-sedikit lah activitiesnya, tidak usah yang for example you ask the students to the topic is about describing people. Tapi terus ada nanti describing things, lalu describing animals gitu ya. Itu vocabnya aja udah berbeda. So make sure that you have the target of vocabulary and language structure. Ya, jadi dalam lesson plan itu make sure jangan sampai segala dimasuk-masukin gitu ya. Semua segala macam vocab dimasukkan ke dalam pembelajaran. You must have the target. How many vocabularies? How many words? 5, 7. Maximum kalau untuk anak-anak sih jangan banyak-banyak lah, 10 lah ya. 10, but it depends again on the student's level of ability, ya. And then model your expectation. Model means here, yaitu tadi learning by doing, not talking about theories. Simple present tense is, gitu ya. Descriptive text is, saya kalau udah ada ngaji gitu, ya, gitu ya. Kasihan banget anak-anaknya ya. Even when you teach secondary level students, itu I suggest you not to talk about theories, but model the sentences, show them examples, illustrations, situations, so make them think and then practice together. Langsung aja begitu, bukan zaman dulu ya. Jadi kalau masih ada nanti yang ngajar pakai simple present tense is bla bla bla, descriptive text is ya, structure-nya begini, language features-nya gini, berarti itu mah zaman dulu saya waktu sekolah ya, tahun berapa ya, 80 90 ya, itu namanya guru jadul. Ya, now just do practice, langsung aja actions ya, not theories. Nanti kalau for example when your students ask, Bu kenapa itu kok pakai ini, nah kenapa pakai ini, kenapa pakai itu, nah that's the time for you to explain. Itu memang wajib ya, harus dijelaskan. Okay, and then remind students the purpose of the activity. Make sure that your students know what they are going to do during the class. Jadi jangan sampai nanti siswanya itu bingung mau ngapain. Jadi mereka tuh juga punya target. Oh ya, saya harus bisa ini, saya harus bisa itu, gitu ya. Oke, next Bu Pipit. Nah, please answer. How important is teaching grammar to young learners of English? Please write A, B, C, or D. Right. Okay. Let's check here. Oh, C. You answered. Okay, most of you answered C. Not very important, not very important. Okay. Okay. Ayo, siapa lagi? Mau sama semua nih kompakan ya? Oh, ada yang beda sendiri. Somewhat important, okay. Ya, C. But. Kalau yang udah jagoan mah begitu jawabannya emang. But. Okay, thank you for the answers. Okay, so very important, somewhat important, not very important, not important at all. But before going to the correct answer, uh, ketika belajar bahasa Inggris, how did you feel ya when you learn grammar? How did you feel when you learn grammar? Right, on the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself. Complicated. Complicated. What else? Disgusting. Complicated, blah, 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 blah. No, no more? All of you love learning grammar? Pak Asep, you just put emoji. Ya gitu deh ya. Kayaknya itu mah, ya gimana ya? Curious. Oh, Ardia, curious. So, if you are curious means that you always find out information about how to construct good sentences, ya, correct sentences in good grammar or correct grammar. Excellent. Oke, ya. Kayaknya speechless juga yang lain ya. Aduh, kalau belajar grammar gimana ya? Ya gimana ya gitu. Males sih gitu ya. Susah sih, complicated, but you have to, ya. You have to. When you learn a language, each language has its own grammatical rules ya. In English, memang kalau di bahasa Indonesia lebih ribet gitu ya. Because in bahasa Indonesia, in bahasa Indonesia we don't have, for example, we want to say hari ini saya makan, besok makan, kemarin makan. You don't need to change the verb. Kan tidak jadi kemarin saya makan pakai id gitu ya. Setiap hari dia makan pakai s. Hari ini atau sekarang saya sedang makaning pakai ing. No, ya. That's in bahasa Indonesia, but in English, ya Allah, ya, you have to change the verb, ya, depending on the situations. Belum lagi nanti if you have to use preposition, ini benar nggak ya? Phrase-nya benar nggak ya? Pakai preposisinya benar nggak ya gitu ya? In Indonesia, memang until now, ya, there are still many teachers yang mendoktrin the students harus benar grammarnya. Padahal enggak, ya. Tapi in process, okay? Through process, I believe that you will have good grammar. Even me, I guess Bu Pipit as well. Kalau Bu Pipit udah jago ya, because she has studied there abroad, yeah, for a long time, for 2 years, 3 years. Me, I only stay here in Indonesia, but I'm trying my best to use correct English, yeah, with good grammar. But I also make mistakes, yeah, and it's normal. So back to here. Is it okay for the children to make mistakes in grammar? Is it okay? Okay banget. But go to the next slide. How important? Very important. Yeah. What makes it important? You don't need to ask your children or your young learners to speak English in a good grammar, but the teacher should. The teacher should show correct examples. Karena anak-anak itu ngikuti gitu loh. The children's brain is just like sponge. It's very easy for them to absorb everything they hear, everything they see, everything they do. Therefore, kalau gurunya salah mengucapkan, salah membuat struktur kalimatnya, nanti salahnya terus-terusan. Ya, okay, because usually children or young learners they believe more in their teachers. It happened to me. My son, when he was in kindergarten, once he went back from school, and then as usual, I asked him. I call him abang ya. Bang, tadi belajar apa di sekolah? Aku belajar bagian tubuh mah katanya. Parts of the body. Oke, coba let me know what you have learned. Lalu dia menyebutkan mata katanya. Ace, saya udah mata ace. Terus kalau telinga apa? Hidung nose, oh bener ya. Telinga hear, stres saya di situ. Oh my goodness ya. No honey, mata itu eyes ya. Kalau telinga itu ears. And then he said, enggak, kata Bu Guru gitu kok. Bu Guru kan bener katanya. Padahal emaknya ini guru bahasa Inggris, but at that time he didn't believe in his mom. He believed more in his teacher. And then ya udah mama punya videonya nih, dengerin ya. Jadi that's why I have to show him examples. Gak bisa kalau pakai teori, enggak itu harusnya ini. Salah mama, yang bener Bu Guru katanya. Then I showed him dulu mah ada video interaktif gitu ya tentang parts of the body. So when I click the parts of the body nanti ada bunyi ear, eye, nose gitu ya. Nah kan ear kan saya bilang gitu ear. Iya ya berarti guru salah dong katanya. And then you know what? The next day ketika saya jemput Arik yang namanya Bang Arik. Dan gurunya, aduh Mama Arik, aduh maaf ya saya salah ternyata ngajarinnya. Hah, si Arik bilang-bilang lagi sama gurunya ya. Nah, itu anak-anak ya polos sekali ya. So everything they hear, everything they see pasti disampaikan, pasti diikuti. Nah, back to here, very important in teaching grammar is very important because grammatical structures are the building blocks of a language. Tadi yang dari mulai pondasinya itu kalau if you learn a language, if you teach language, grammar itu yaitu foundationnya of a language ya. But the teaching approach should match the way students learn. Nah, yang sering miss adalah yang ini ya. Teorinya gimana? Nanti kita akan bahas ya. Teorinya apa? Nanti prakteknya apa? Oke? Okay? Because the teachers there are still a lot of young learners teachers who don't really understand the teaching methods, the appropriate teaching methods and techniques for young learners. Ya, nanti kita bahas pelan-pelan. Nah, children they understand grammar very well, but not, it's very easy for them to understand grammar without explaining to them. Nggak perlu dikasih tahu bahwa kalau kegiatan sehari-hari pakai subjek, pakai verb, kalau misalnya he, she, it pakai s atau is. Kalau Dewi Ayu nggak pakai s atau is gitu. No, they don't need that. Even yang teenagers, adults juga kayaknya udah lelah dengan segala macam grammar, tapi tidak dipraktekkan. Nanti juga kalau dipraktekkan, if you show them examples, if you give them more opportunities to practice, itu nanti lama-lama awareness-nya makin meningkat. Oh iya, ternyata kalau bikin kalimat tuh begini ya, gitu ya. Tapi of course, it's our responsibility kalau misalnya ada yang salah dalam hal mengucapkan, dalam hal mengkonstruksi kalimatnya, it's our responsibility as a teacher to correct them. Ya, but not blaming on them. Okay, so they will understand grammar not through explanation but repetition and recycling in different context ya. Jadi dengan konteks yang berbeda-beda gitu ya. Tapi yang penting nih keywordnya adalah untuk anak-anak repetition, recycling. Itu terus repetition, recycling. Jadi jangan pertemuan ini tentang itu, pertemuan berikutnya beda lagi topiknya. Enggak. Biasanya one topic can be implemented for 2-3 sessions, even 4 sessions. Ya, okay, go on to the next slide. Nah, so after you know the children's characteristics and also how they learn, so what teachers should do in teaching English to young learners? First, understand the characteristics of young learners. Set clear learning goals or objectives. Ya, make sure that saya kira bukan untuk children aja ya. Untuk setiap kita ngajar, make sure that we have clear learning goals or objectives. Ya, before teaching, and then create a positive learning environment ya, dibuat fun terus. Develop various interactive or hands-on activities through games, song, chants, and stories. Use realia and visual. Selalu jangan lupa if you teach young learners, provide them with various kinds of media ya. Realia visual, jangan selalu pakai PowerPoint, selalu pakai apa pokoknya teknologi anak-anak tuh sebenarnya nggak terlalu perlu ya. So just use the real objects ya. Realia itu kan kayak for example they are learning about animals, kan ada tuh mainan apa yang binatang-binatang gitu ya, beli aja udah murah. Nanti misalnya ada krokodil misalnya, wild animals, ada crocodiles, ada apa lagi rhino misalnya ya, tiger gitu ya. Jangan bawa yang beneran ya binatang ya ntar pada heboh. Itu mah kalau ke zoo aja. You can take them to the zoo and then let them see, oh that's a rhino, that's a tiger gitu ya, kayak gitu. Memang harus real things, mereka tuh harus melihat sesuatu walaupun bentuknya realia juga. and then something that they can see, they can hear, gitu ya. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Encourage participation. Always ask them to participate ya. Tapi kalau ngajar anak pasti gimana tadi ya, ada yang moody ya, ada yang moodnya nggak bagus, dan they don't want to get involved in the activities, but it's okay ya. You cannot force them, but talk to them slowly ya. Okay, then use repetition and review or recycling. Understand cultural diversity. Nah ini juga sama, mungkin ada yang orang Sunda, ada yang Jawa ya. So pasti karakteristiknya akan berbeda because of the culture. Yeah, so you have to understand this, and then be adaptable to the changing needs and interests of young learners. And ini yang paling susah nih, be patient and empathical ya, empathical. Ngajar anak-anak itu ya, I remember when I was still single, the first time I taught children itu waktu itu ngajar di TK. At that time, of course, because I was still single and then I didn't have any children that time, saya tuh ngelihat anak-anak tuh sebel banget gitu ya. Lagi belajar mereka nggak merhatiin, yang sini Kak, pengennya gitu. Kalau nggak ngerti, karena belum ngerti ilmunya. Jangan pada ribut dong, gitu. Nggak bisa ternyata anak-anak seperti itu. Nanti ada model kayak attention grabber ya. Jadi nggak bisa yang, keep quiet, please, keep quiet. Ayo dong, jangan pada ribut aja, jangan. Nggak bisa, ya. Apalagi kalau anak TK. Saya cuma bertahan 2 bulan, Bu Pipit, ngajar di TK itu ya, ada MBay, ya, nggak tahan saya ngelihat anak-anak riweuh. Belum apa, in the middle of the lesson, Miss Tina, aku pengen pipis, gitu. Ya, saya belum pernah punya anak harus nyebokin, tuh kumaha ieu tehnya, gitu. But, well, makanya ini yang paling susah menurut saya, be patient and emphatic. So that's why, I'm proud of kindergarten teachers, elementary school teachers yang sangat luar biasa patience-nya ya. Kalau yang tidak suka anak-anak, mendingan jangan ngajar anak-anak ya. So make sure that you have to love children first gitu ya. Okay, next. Nah, ini dia yang paling utama ya, gaps between theory and practice ya. So there are 5 points here regarding the gaps. Yeah, first is emphasis on communicative competence, and then child-centered and play-based learning, cultural integration and contextual learning, differentiated instruction, and ongoing professional development. Move on to the next. This is the detail of the theories and practice the gap. So in the theory, communicative competence usually deals with the method of communicative language teaching. Yeah. So according to theory, communicative language teaching emphasizes the importance of using language in authentic context. Do you understand authentic? Real life, yeah, real life. And then promoting communication skills over rote memorization of grammar rules. Jadi instead of memorizing of grammar rules, mendingan attract the students or ask the students to get involved in the activities with authentic context. But in practice, ya, ini I don't know whether you agree or not ya. Tapi karena saya juga banyak bermain dengan guru-guru SD, jadi saya tahu tuh, oh geningan gini ya ngajar di SD teh gitu. Tapi tidak semua. In many classrooms, especially where standardized test. Nah ini memang di Indonesia the problem ya, ini harus ada tesnya, gitu ya. Harus ada nilai di akhir. Padahal basically children don't need scores. Ya, but not in Indonesia, many teachers still don't understand. Sebenarnya mungkin teachers understand, but the parents don't understand. They need scores. Anak saya nilainya berapa gitu. Sekarang masih ada orang tua yang nanya, ranking berapa anak saya? Gitu, padahal sekarang udah tidak disarankan ya menggunakan ranking. So when the standardized tests dominate, teachers may still rely heavily on traditional methods like grammar and vocabulary drills. Yaitu banyak latihan grammar gitu ya, nulis melulu kerjaannya. Lalu vocabulary drills cuma begini, meja, table, meja, kursi, chair, kursi kursi dan anjing, chair dog, dog chair. Anjing kursi ya wae. Karena orang Indonesia itu mengartikan biasanya satu kata per kata, padahal in learning a language is holistic ya, holistic. So bukan per kata yang diajarkan, harusnya berupa ya itu tadi kontekstual dan meaningful ya. So yang tepat adalah mengajarkannya bukan table, meja, diartikan ke bahasa Indonesia ya. Kalau secara teori itu tidak tepat sebetulnya ya menerjemahkan itu ya in teaching young learners. It's better for you to ya itu tadi showing the pictures ya, and then model the sentences, and then you show them situations, so they have more opportunities to practice using the vocabulary in the sentence construction ya. Jadi daripada ini ini meja, this is a table. Udah langsung aja perlihatkan mejanya. This is a table. This is a water bottle. Langsung perlihatkan. This is a water bottle. Misalnya for example, your students cannot say this is a water bottle. Ya udah nggak apa-apa, cuma bilang water bottle, water bottle. Nanti kitanya tetap mengulang. Mengulangnya adalah dengan full sentence. This is a water bottle. Gitu ya. Even though the students mungkin cuma satu kata yang diucapkan, tapi gurunya jangan sampai mengucapkan hanya satu kata, but in a sentence. Gitu cara mengajarkan anak-anak ya. And then because as I told you that they learn by listening, they learn by doing. Nanti lama-lama juga nempel kok di sini. And then they will produce later on. Ya, ya kan seperti bayi tadi kita selalu bilang, ini mama ya, adik mau minum susu gitu ya. Nah, nanti dia nggak bisa jawab, tapi nanti dia ngerekam, oh ini mama, ini susu. Makanya kalau mengajarkan anak-anak itu ya, itu jangan dicadel-cadelin. Ya, sama aja mengajar bahasa, jadi jangan gini. Oh, ada napa sih? Lutu amat. Lutu, bukan lutu, lucu. Oh, ada mau tutu. Mau susu maksudnya. Oh, ada mau tutu. Oh, ada mau tutu. Ih, lutu amat, lutu anak deh gitu. Nah, jangan. Itu sebetulnya tidak baik gitu ya. So that's why you have to say the correct pronunciation. Semua bahasa sama ya. Make sure. Jadi makanya before you teach young learners, make sure that you check the pronunciation ya. Jangan sampai pronunciation-nya kayak tadi harusnya ear jadinya hair gitu ya. Itu sangat bahaya. Oke. Okay? Go to the next part. Nah, child-centered and play-based learning. Theoretically, educational theories often advocate for child-centered approaches that incorporate play. Nah, sekali lagi itu harus di-highlight. Children love playing, they don't like studying, ya. So play and creativity, recognizing that young learners benefit from engaging, interactive, and hands-on activities. But the practice, due to curriculum constraints, large class sizes, or lack of resources, satu kelas SD berapa orang sih? Berapa siswa? How many students are there? 30? 32 ya? Around 30 to something. Ada yang 40, mungkin kalau yang di jauh di sana ada 40 dijejel-jejelin di situ ya. So because of that, because of the large class size and then lack of resources, kalau resources sih sebetulnya banyak ya. Tapi gurunya kadang yang tidak mau, mohon maaf, gurunya yang tidak mau akses gitu ya. Resourcesnya banyak, there are a lot of resources. Apalagi now technology provides various kinds of resources. Tinggal gurunya aja mau apa enggak. Teachers might adopt more teacher-centered approaches with structured lessons and limited opportunities for play-based learning. Jadi ya itu banyakkan teori menjelaskannya gitu ya. Karena yang penting bukunya selesai, yang penting target nyampe gitu ya. Padahal when theoretically teaching learners don't need the target to finish or to accomplish a book. Ya, a book is only guidance. Yang paling utama adalah communicative competence tadi. Okay, next. Cultural integration and contextual learning. Language learning should be contextually relevant and culturally integrated, helping learners connect new language concepts to their own experiences and cultures. Ya, bagaimana menghubungkan bahasa dengan budaya mereka. But practically, teaching materials and methods may not always reflect the learner's cultural context. Misalnya, kalau bahasa Inggris memang cenderung berhubungannya dengan budaya luar ya. Seperti makanan gitu ya. It's okay, it is fine for teachers to introduce types of food misalnya yang di luar seperti apa. But then the teachers need to ask the students to connect the materials to their own culture. Supaya memang yang tadi meaningful tadi akhirnya bisa dipakai sehari-hari gitu ya. Oke, next. Differentiated instruction yang lagi tren ya, but there are still many teachers who don't really catch what it means by differentiated instruction ya. Jadi banyak yang berpikir bahwa oh kalau differentiated instruction itu buat kegiatannya beda-beda untuk yang auditory atau audio, untuk yang visual, padahal bukan begitu ya. Dari dulu gue sebetulnya mah you can just apply various techniques, various activities that can support all learning styles. Satu kegiatan saja bisa, tapi ada listeningnya, ada speakingnya, ada mungkin maksudnya gini loh, ada saat di mana students can listen, students can talk, students can read and can write gitu ya. Jadi jangan usah dipaksakan. The important thing is the students are happy. Itu inti mengajar young learners adalah the students are happy with learning. Okay, practically teachers often face challenges in differentiating instruction due to large class due to large class sizes, time constraints, and a lack of professional development. Okay, next. Ongoing professional development. Nah, we have to appreciate the lecturers, Ibu Pipit and Pak Asep are great lecturers, have great efforts to develop the professionalism. Jadi Bu Pipit ini memang selalu diskusi ya Bu Pipit ya dengan saya ya. In terms of ini ada ilmunya, ini ada ini, kita suka sharing ya. And Pak Asep also I saw you in various kinds of events. Kayaknya Asep Kurnia itu memang everywhere ini tanya di mana-mana ayah bukan. Nah, that is one of I really appreciate those teachers and lecturers who really care for the ongoing professional development ya. Jadi theoretically memang guru itu harus belajar kan ada lifelong learning ya. Make sure that you learn as long as you are still alive. Make sure that you learn. If you don't want to learn, don't teach. Yeah. Stop teaching if you stop learning ya. But I guess it's not only for teachers. Later on, kalau for example you graduate from the university and then you decide not to be teachers, ya, saya yakin di yang sekian banyak ini ada berapa sekarang? Around 30 ya, 30 students. Ini mesti yang kalau saya tanya, please raise your hand if you want to be teachers. Yang ngacung nggak akan setengahnya. Less than that. Dia kesini, bener nggak? Bener atau bener? Ya kan? Ya, because I guess right now trendnya beda, Bu Pipit, Pak Asep. Kalau dulu kita ngambil keguruan karena memang pengen jadi guru. Kalau anak-anak muda sekarang ngambil keguruan daripada nggak kuliah. Atau alasannya dipaksa sama orang tua. Tapi I guess ini Allah's way ya for you all. Karena kalau tidak, kalau bukan skenario Allah nggak akan nyampe ke sini nih gitu ya. Dan Bismillah saja kita doakan sebagai dosen, mudah-mudahan si mahasiswa dikasih hidayahnya supaya jadi guru, supaya mau jadi guru ya. Kasihan soalnya di Indonesia we need teachers ya, we need English teachers. Apalagi yang learners, SD itu banyaknya guru-guru itu bukan guru bahasa Inggris backgroundnya. Ya, banyak yang itu guru kelas yang memang dipaksa dipaksa dan terpaksa mengajar bahasa Inggris. Nah, EFL ya pedagogy for young learners-nya belum dapat gitu ya. So that's why you are the next generation ya to help our young learners develop their ability in English. Okay? Go on to the next. Nah, bridging the gap-nya gimana ya itu? Professional development, resource allocation, curriculum flexibility, jadi jangan terlalu berpacu kepada curriculum, even though starting this year, SD itu sudah mulai diwajibkan, tapi nanti diwajibkannya sekali itu 2027 ya, 2027 yes. Nah, sekarang itu masih optional, tapi nanti akan menuju ke wajib. So, tapi itu flexible. Ya, what I mean here, even though the curriculum change or the policy is changed, the important thing is sekali lagi back to the basic of theories of teaching young learners, English to young learners itu ya. The important thing is the students have fun. Jadi kuncinya sekali lagi fun activities ya, and then supportive policies and collaboration and sharing best practices. Oke, nah itu sebetulnya how to bridge the gap, very easy kelihatannya, tapi practically it's hard ya. Nah, saya kasih contoh lagi apa sebelum tutup ya. Waktunya cepat sekali. Please close this Bu Pipit and then go back to the song and chant. I give you another examples of songs and chants ya. Mungkin masih ada bingung bedanya song dengan chant. Nanti saya kasih storytelling juga satu aja. Tapi kalau bisa di on cam semua, jadi saya mau lihat gerakannya ya. Oke, song the next song apa chant yang berikutnya?
Bear with me, please.
Yes ya. Take your time, Pipit.
All right.
Nah, attention song ya. Nah, before attention song, we in teaching young learners, we also have attention grabber. Previously, ya. Attention grabber itu banyak ya. For example, your students are very noisy, then yang seperti tadi saya bilang, it's very hard for us to just make the students quiet ya. So instead of saying keep quiet please, keep silent please, or ada guru yang ngegedor-gedor, ngegedor-gedor, ini meja ya, duduk, quiet please, yang ada stress nanti ya. Nah biasanya usually there is a kind of attention grabber. Attention grabbernya tuh for example ya, mac and cheese gitu ya, mac and cheese. Nanti siswanya suruh jawab, everybody freeze gitu ya. So the teacher say mac and cheese, everybody freeze gitu. Can you do it? I'm going to say mac and cheese and then you answer. Okay, ready? Unmute. Mac and cheese.
Everybody freeze.
One more time. Mac and cheese.
Everybody freeze.
Yay,
Everybody
okay.
freeze.
Everybody freeze. Ada lagi. Hocus pocus ya. Hocus pocus. And then you answer everybody focus. Ya, pakai gerakan boleh. Hocus pocus. Kayak 4 mata ya. Iya gitu ya. Hocus pocus. Everybody focus. Okay, ready? Hocus pocus.
Everybody
Everybody
freeze.
Iya, oke, good. Something like that ya. So, tapi harus ini ya, istiqomah ya. Harus istiqomahnya ya kalau pakai itu terus gitu ya, nanti berubah lagi. So, make sure that the students get used to dulu itu dulu ya. Nanti kalau berubah lagi, nanti mereka bingung yang mana sebenarnya. Nah, and this is one of the examples of an attention song. Do you know the song of London Bridge is falling down? Ya, London Bridge is falling down. Nah, ini nadanya seperti itu ya. Like this. Are you ready for the class? Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Are you ready for the class? Let's be quiet. Shh. Yeah, okay. One more time. You can just follow, and after that, I'm going to ask one person to sing. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready for the class? Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Are you ready for the class? Let's be quiet. Shh. Yeah? Okay? Who would like to sing the song? Come on. Anyone? Can I call?
Let's go. Let's go, Miss.
Okay, Riksandi Iza. Okay, please.
Yeah,
it's
with friends.
Yeah. 1,
1,
2,
3. Are you ready for the class? Yes, I am. Yes, we are. Are you ready for the class? Let's be quiet.
Yeay! Kayaknya rame-rame itu di situ ya. 10 orang yang nyanyi. Alright. Thank you very much, Iza and the gang ya. Okay. Now, the next slide, Bu Pipit. Okay. Nah, this is chant ya. Chant. Nah, chant actually can help you if you don't have beautiful voice ya, then you can use chant ya, karena chant itu nggak perlu pakai nada do re mi fa sol la si do ya. Jadi datar aja, but you also need to understand the rhythms ya. Jadi kalau chant itu kayak nge-rap loh. Gitu ya. Bisa 4 ketukan, bisa juga 3 kan ya. Nah, jadi nggak usah kayak tadi lagu kan ada nadanya, yang ini enggak. Ini ya, this is example. Jadi kalau udah benar-benar kalau nyanyi suara saya kayaknya hancur gitu ya. Jadi ya udahlah pakai ini aja deh, chant aja deh ya. Nah, ini I believe that the students also love it ya. Gini ya caranya. This is example. Gini ya. Can you sing? No, I can't. Can you dance? No, I can't. Can you draw? Yes, I can. I can draw. Gampang kan? Ya. Let's try ya. Harus benar bukannya, jangan ngacok-ngaclok ya. Can you sing? No, I can't. Can you dance? No, I can't. Can you draw? Yes, I can. I can draw. Okay, yeah. We will try. Ini this is the topic is ability ya. So make the students able to the objective is how to make the students able to say sentences using I can you, yes I can, no I can't ya. Okay, who will try? Who will try? Come on. Okay. Tiara ya? Tiara? Yes, okay.
The gang.
Tiara and the gang. All right. Excellent. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Can you sing? No, I can. Can you dance? No, I can. Can you draw? Yes, I can. I can draw.
Keren. Yeah. So you can just create. So if you think that you cannot find a song yang memang berhubungan dengan target vocabulary atau language structure-nya, ngarang sendiri aja ya, seperti ini aja. Jadi you just put the language structure there, terus kita coba-coba dulu. Nah, masuk nggak nih ritmenya? Karena if you put biasanya gini, kita bermainnya di syllables ini ya. Jadi can you sing? Nah, susah kalau misalnya can you play basketball, hese. Can you play basketball? Susah masuknya ya. Jadi cari yang misalnya one syllable sama-sama one syllable. Sing, dance, draw gitu ya misalnya. Kalau mau tambah play basketball, gini caranya. Can you play basketball? Bisa sih. No, I can't gitu. Ya, jadi disesuaikan. Jadi harus sama tuh ya syllable dengan ketukannya. So that's chance ya. So I always tell the teachers this is to save your bad voice gitu ya. Gitu. Jadi memang pakai chance aja yang paling gampang. Oke, next. Nah, ini kalau goodbye song ya. Goodbye pakai sama. Jadi remember that every time you come to your young learners class, enrich them with songs ya. Tapi itu jadikan routines ya. Tadi kan hello song ya, terus ada ini goodbye song, jadikan routines ya. Setiap masuk ada ini. Nanti mungkin after one semester you change the song, tapi nanti di tengah-tengah ada song lagi atau chant lagi, tapi sesuai dengan materi yang diajarkan ya. Alright. So ini goodbye song masih sama using the London Bridge tadi ya. Nanti saya bilang class, answer yes gitu ya. Class, yes. And then you sing together. The lesson is done. The lesson is done. We will go home. Goodbye and see you soon. Goodbye and see you soon. We will go home. Easy? Who will try? Which gang? Next.
My gang, Miss.
Yay! Okay.
Go. Okay.
Yeah, Zidane and the gang.
Yes. The lesson is done. The lesson is done. We will go home. Goodbye and see you soon. Goodbye and see you soon. We will go home.
Yeah, I like it. How many of you there? 10, 20, 15? Okay, all right. So that's how you can sing the song. And this is, you can also create using another lyrics, yeah. But the important thing is, again, routines. All right. One more to close. I have one story that you can follow, yeah. But please turn on your camera if you are able to. You can just close the slides, Bu Pipit. One example of very simple story. Okay. The title of the story is Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Wiggle. Yeah, Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Wiggle. But what you have to do is, okay, please take a look at my hands. Put your thumbs into your palms and then close it. Yeah, okay, like this. Okay, because later on I'm going to play with your fingers. Okay, like this, yeah. So your right hand is Mr. Wiggle. So Mr. Wiggle is this, yeah. Mr. Who? Mr. Who? Wiggle.
Mr.
The
Wiggle.
yeah. Your left hand is Mr. Wiggle. Okay, Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Wiggle. Ready? Okay, you do like this, yeah. Okay. Once upon a time, there were two best friends. Their names were Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Wiggle. One day, Mr. Wiggle would like to visit who? Who?
Mr.
Wiggle, yes. Okay, look. He opened the door. Pop. Okay. He opened the door. Say it. Pop. Got out of the house. Pop.
Pop.
And closed the door. Pop.
Pop. Pop.
And he went down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, and up the hill. He arrived in Mr. Wiggle's house. He knocked the door. Knock, knock, knock.
Knock, 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 knock.
Nobody answered. Let's knock one more time. Say knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Nobody answered. So he decided to go home. He went down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. And then he arrived in his house. He opened the door. Say what?
Pop,
Not poop. Pop. Pop, not poop, yeah.
pop, 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 pop.
Got into the house.
Pop,
And closed the door. Pop. The next day, Mr. Who?
Wiggle.
Mr. Wiggle would like to visit Mr.
Wiggle.
Wiggle. He opened the door. Pop. 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 P-O-P. Pop.
Pop.
Got out of the house.
Pop.
And closed the door.
Pop.
And he went down
Down
the
the
hill, up the hill, down the hill, and up the hill. He finally arrived in Mr. Who? Wiggle's house. He
And
knocked the door. Everybody please knock the door. Knock, knock, knock.
Knock, knock, knock.
Nobody answered. One more time. Let's knock the door. Knock, knock, knock. Nobody answered. So Mr. Wiggle decided to go home. He went
Down
down the hill, up the hill, and down the hill. He opened the door.
Pop,
He opened the door.
pop,
Got into the house
and pop.
and closed the door. Sabar ya. The next day, Mr. Wiggle would like to visit Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Wiggle would like to visit Mr. Wiggle. So they opened the door. Got into the house. Got out of the house.
Pop.
and close the door. Pop.
Pop.
And they went down the
Down
hill, up
Up
the
the
hill,
and
down
down
the hill,
hill.
and up
Up
the hill. Finally they met each other. They said hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. And then they laugh together. They laugh together. They talk and laugh together. And it's late in the afternoon. They were very tired, so they decided to go home. Say goodbye together.
Goodbye.
Bye. Okay. So they went home. They went
Down
down
the
the
hill,
hill, up the hill, down the hill, and up the hill. They opened the door.
Pop.
Pop. They got into the house. Pop. And closed the door. Pop. And they slept. Yay! Okay, so that's the example of the story. You just did you realize that I repeated the same expressions, the same words all the time? For you, probably it's a little bit tiring, ya. Aduh, naik lagi, turun lagi, up the hill, down the hill. But for children, they love it, yeah. So they love routines, they love repetitions, ya. So that's the example of the story. And later on, jadi nggak usah ngambil story-nya misalnya Red Little Riding Hood, panjang teing ya. And then apa lagi? Misalnya the ants and the grasshopper, terlalu panjang. Probably the stories that you take from the resources don't match with the target vocabulary or language structure. Therefore, it's better for you to create yourself. Yeah, okay. All right, so probably that's the end. Now, can you show the last slides, Bu Pipit? Just would like, as a wrap, I give you quotes for young learners. About young learners, I mean.
Which slide, Ibu? The song?
The mind and gap. Mind and gap. And after that, goodbye song.
All right.
Or goodbye song first. Goodbye song first.
Okay.
But we have done it.
Yeah,
goodbye
yeah,
song.
I think this is the end of the slide.
Yeah. Mind and gap. So the two slides, the last two slides, I guess. Yes, okay, go to the next slide. So according to Donaldson here, children learn as they play. Again, I would like to highlight that children, basically, they don't like learning. They love playing. Therefore, make them play by learning, or make them learn by playing. Most importantly, in play, children learn how to learn. Okay, next slide, the last. So if a child cannot learn in the way we teach, we must teach in a way the children can learn. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. Hopefully that it can be implemented in your classes later. Thank you, Bu Pipit.
Thank you, Ibu Tina.
And thank you for your participations. You are great. You have such great students, Bu Pipit. And Pak Asep. Yeah, Bu Pipit and Pak Asep. You have to be proud of your students, yeah. Somebody is writing here, Fitran, yeah. I like children. Pak Asep, not only the YL, we love it too. Thank you very much. Okay, Bu Pipit.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Ibu Tina. Let's give Ibu Tina a big round of applause, everyone. Yay! Thank you so much, Ibu Tina, for your enlightening and enjoyable presentation. We had really so much fun, right, everybody? Ya, saya melihat para peserta tadi tertawa.
The gang.
Banyak sekali.
Tiara and the gang.
Tadi, geng Tiara itu berapa orang?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. And Tiara is the only lady there.
Oke, Oke, thank you so much Ibu. Dan di sini
Pleasure.
juga ada alumni kami, ada salah
Oh
satu
ya,
Anissa. Thank you for coming. Ya,
thank
thank you.
you.
Tadi seru sekali rasanya sampai di sepanjang sesi. Kayaknya saya pengen pindah ke Unpad aja ya, kuliah sama Bu Tina kayaknya seru.
Janganlah.
Saya pengen jadi mahasiswanya Bu Tina aja. Seru sekali ya guys kalau tiap pekan belajarnya terus seperti itu, seru-seru sekali. Ya, tadi ada beberapa poin yang perlu kita catat dan emphasize, dan saya juga tercerahkan. Tapi sebelum kita ke conclusionnya, saya buka dulu. Probably you guys want to ask some questions to Ibu Tina, so I'll give you some times to drop a question. Please unmute yourself if you do. Ada yang bertanya? Oh, Ardia.
Ya,
Silakan Ardia.
Ardia.
Boleh unmute? Mau langsung unmute Ardia barangkali?
Mhm.
Boleh, Miss.
Ya, yes, please.
Izin bertanya untuk Miss Tina.
Mhm.
Bagaimana jika di suatu kelas itu ada satu peserta didik yang tidak mencapai target pembelajaran atau minimal targetnya gitu, Miss. Apakah, dan semisal itu udah 2 pertemuan membahas topik tersebut, apakah kita di pertemuan ketiga itu harus membahas topik yang sama atau topik yang baru aja tetapi menyelipkan si topik yang sebelumnya itu? Terima kasih.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's a good question, yeah. And this is a common challenge actually, not only in the young learners classes, but also in teenagers and adults classes, yeah. But as I told you in the theory that basically children love playing and then they don't like studying ya. Nah, but the problem is ini kita harus kasih angka nih, harus kasih nilai gimana ya kalau tidak mencapai gitu ya. Nah, what you have to find out is itu kan ada analisis dulu ya. Probably after a few sessions you analyze the problems ya. Kenapa ini anak kok kayaknya nggak paham-paham gitu ya. For example, of 30 students ya, mungkin ada 1-2 yang kok nggak bisa-bisa ya. For me ya, in my humble opinion, for young learners is okay. Ya, karena anak-anak itu ya sekali lagi tidak bisa dipaksakan untuk belajar. And not only analyzing the students, but you also need to analyze yourself. Jangan-jangan teknik mengajarnya yang kurang tepat, gitu ya. Lalu mungkin kegiatannya yang terlalu sulit. Mungkin kata-kata or the choice of words itu yang memang terlalu tinggi buat mereka, gitu ya. Nah, so how is the solution? If I were the teacher, saya biasanya tidak memaksakan harus diulang-ulang lagi. Ya, misalnya sudah 2 kali, menyelipkan lagi. Tapi kalau review di awal boleh. Boleh sekali. Karena one of the keywords of teaching young learners itu adalah kan repetition. Dengan review kan tadi ya, boleh review di awal, tapi bukan berarti, geningan 2 kali kok nggak ngerti-ngerti, 3 kali, review lagi, tapi terus-terusan gitu ya. The children will feel bored. Ya, therefore terus gimana nih untuk mengatasi yang 2 ini? Mungkin bisa dikasih mungkin tugas yang mudah saja, tugas tambahan, atau misalnya apa ya, jangan berupa tulisan sih, lebih tugas kepada apa namanya, misalnya membuat video kalau bisa ya, tapi kalau nggak bisa nggak apa-apa ya. Jadi nggak usah dipaksakan, nanti mereka stres. Nanti lama-lama juga mereka akan paham kok gitu ya. Nah, terus kalau masih ada yang masih nggak bisa juga nggak apa-apa. Ya, kalau saya melihat anak-anak it's okay. Tapi gurunya tetap harus menganalisa gimana nih caranya ya supaya tekniknya itu lebih tepat dan lebih kena gitu ya. Mungkin medianya yang kurang gitu ya, tidak menggunakan media yang baik, atau the way you talk even ya, speed itu juga berpengaruh. Jadi kalau if you talk to children, make sure that you can control your speed, your articulation harus jelas. Benar-benar itu yang kayak kita bisa bilang this is a table, benar-benar ya table gitu ya. Dan jangan begini ya. Saya banyak menemukan guru-guru ngajar gini. This is a table. Terus apa lagi? Apa sana? Apa lagi? The book gitu ya. Jadi dipanjang-panjangin. No. Itu kalau baca Quran aja kan ada harkatnya, ada 2 harkat, 6 harkat gitu misalnya. Nah, bahasa Inggris bahasa tuh ya sesuai saja gitu ya, tidak usah dipanjang-panjangin gitu ya. But betul-betul syllabus-nya harus tepat gitu ya. Dan itu artikulasi kecepatan itu juga harus dikontrol. Banyak faktornya yang harus dianalize ya, artikulasi, kecepatan, pemilihan kata ya, choice of words, pronunciation. Nah itu mungkin itu kita kurang tepat pronunciation-nya sehingga si siswanya kok kemarin ibu ucapannya gini, sekarang kok beda gitu. Nah seperti itu. So I guess tidak usah dipaksakan karena pasti dalam satu kelas ada saja yang seperti itu, but it doesn't mean that we have to always repeat the same vocabularies all the time. You must have limits, ya. Harus sesuai dengan syllabus, harus sesuai dengan lesson plans. Oke? Okay?
Okay, Miss. Thank you,
Yeah,
Miss.
my pleasure. Any other question?
Okay. Any question? Probably one more question.
Izin
Silakan.
bertanya, Miss.
Yes, the gang. Ya,
Kan
Sob.
gini, pengalaman saya ketika di kampus mengajar dulu di SD, ketika saya kayak mengajar, lalu contohnya di hari pertama saya memainkan game, kayak contoh main ular-ularan gitu sambil belajar. Lalu di hari keduanya itu, saya itu perlu kayak menulis di board gitu, kayak menulis materinya, tapi karena kemarin itu bermain gamenya seru, jadi anak-anak itu ketika menulis jadi kurang semangat kalau nggak mau nulis gitu karena mending game aja yang seru katanya gitu. Itu gimana caranya ya biar apa ya biar andar gitu, stabil gitu.
Ya, ya, that's a good question tuh ya. Nah, ini yang saya bilang kadang guru tuh loncat, jadi langsung ke writing aja gitu ya. Jadi kan siswanya kaget. Sementara sebelumnya games. Nah, diakalinnya gimana itu ya? Makanya harus bertahap ya. Harus spoken language dulu. Make sure that they are able to pronounce words, to construct sentences dengan spoken language. Baru nanti ke reading and writing gitu ya. Tahapannya ya, listening, speaking, reading, writing. Nah, terus gimana dong? Kemarin udah game, sekarang harusnya waktunya writing nih gitu ya. Misalnya spokennya udah harus menulis kelas berapa gitu? Kelas berapa?
Kelas 1 dan kelas 3 sih kebanyakan 1, 2, 3 itu.
1, 2, 3. Dicubit lah kalau ngajar writing lagi ya. Dicubit ntar. Ini I mean it ya, I mean it. Kelas 1, 2 itu masih spoken sebetulnya because they are still in the process of writing bahasa Indonesia, learning to write. Nah, jadi jangan loncat. Ada nulis bahasa Indonesia aja masih, apa kalau punten ngajarnya di nun jauh di sana, mereka kan kelas 1, 2 aja ada yang belum bisa baca. Gitu ya. So make sure that you start from the spoken language aja dulu. Kalau udah yakin mereka bisa mengucapkannya, baru diperkenalkan tulisannya. Nah, terus gimana? Sebelumnya pakai game. Nah, writingnya juga bisa pakai game gitu ya. Misalnya kayak writing race gitu ya. Jadi lomba menulis gitu ya. Jangan ujung-ujung suruh nulis latihan di buku gitu ya. Nah, I believe that they will refuse. Dan misalnya Mister main game aja deh. Nah, kita main game aja tapi pakai ini ya, misalnya pakai kata yang ini ya. So, kita bikin writing race atau misalnya apa ya, ada kalau cuma kata doang ya, itu ada namanya back writing. Jadi baris gitu ya, terus mereka suruh nulis hurufnya itu di punggung temannya. Ingat nggak waktu kecil mungkin main kayak gitu, ini huruf apa gitu ya. Nah, jadi memang writing untuk anak-anak itu is a little bit apa ya, hard ya to ask them to write, apalagi dengan mengisi tugas segala macam gitu. Apalagi kelas 1, 2, 3 itu kan masih kelas bawah ya. So make sure the writing is also created in a fun activity. Jadi jangan tiba-tiba ngisi LKS apalagi. Ngisi LKS, wah itu mah udah anak-anak udah malas banget belajar gitu. Apaan nulis nulis doang. Basically memang anak tuh nggak suka nulis kok. Nggak suka belajar, mereka maunya fun aja, game gitu. Dan gamenya harus sesuaikan dengan topiknya ya gitu. Jadi jangan asal main game aja, but make sure gamenya itu sesuai dengan target vocabulary yang akan diajarkan saat itu. Gitu. Did I answer your question?
Ya, Miss. Thank you very much.
Ya, my pleasure. Good luck ya nanti ya kalau ngajar anak-anak ya. Yakin bisa. Memang ilmunya saya juga I learn many years loh Bu Pipit. Nggak semudah itu ngajar anak tuh lebih susah daripada ngajar anak dewasa. And I think
mungkin Miss izin
Yes, yes.
menambahkan
Boleh,
terkait
boleh.
pertanyaan Zaki. Kan mungkin kita sebagai mahasiswa yang mengikuti kampus mengajar itu hanya sekedar mengikuti dari apa yang disuruh oleh guru pamong juga gitu kan.
Ya,
Terus
ya.
kita, ya harus sesuai dengan buku-buku yang ada gitu. Nah, sedangkan kalau misalkan kami itu mengikuti yang buku yang ada gitu, kalau misalkan di kelas bawah 1, 2, 3 itu disuruh nulis, apakah kita boleh gitu untuk keluar dari buku tersebut terus menggunakan metode yang seharusnya gitu, yaitu bermain gitu untuk anak-anak kelas 1 tanpa harus
Menulis.
ikut ya. Jadi tidak mengikuti buku gitu. Jadi kita ini sendiri aja gitu. Mungkin seperti itu, Miss.
Boleh banget kalau saya mah. If I were you, ya, saya tuh kalau merasa, oke, this book is hard gitu ya, untuk anak-anak seusia kelas 1, kelas 2 gitu ya, kelas 3 juga mungkin. So, I decided gini caranya, topiknya masih sama, ambil dari buku itu, ya. Terus di lesson plan itu dibuat listnya, vocabnya apa saja, lalu strukturnya apa saja. Misalnya, oke, misalnya things in the classroom. Ada tadi ya, table, ada chair, ada whiteboard gitu ya. Nah, terus nanti kalimatnya apa? Language structure-nya apa? This is a table, this is a. Nah, ini kan seharusnya misalnya ada nulisnya. Setelah spoken-nya ada writing-nya. Nah, itu boleh nggak misalnya pakai metode yang lain? Boleh banget. Metode teknik mah bebas ya, tapi asal topiknya jangan jauh dari yang sudah ditentukan di dalam silabus atau buku. Tapi misalnya sekali lagi, if you see that the students kayaknya kelas ini mah sanggupnya sehari itu cuma 2 kata, ya udah pakai 2 kata itu saja. Tidak usah dipaksakan, oh dalam satu pertemuan harus 10, tidak. Ya, kita jangan jadi guru kejam katanya ya. Jadi jangan jadi guru kejam memaksakan si siswa, si anak-anak itu harus bisa semua, mencapai target semua. Nah, terus gimana kalau kata guru pamong harus mencapai gitu ya? Wah ini harus sampai nih selesai seperti ini. Nah, banyak tekniknya, tapi ini bisa berjam-jam kalau ngomongin teknik ya, karena banyak sekali tekniknya. For example, misalnya mengajarkan tadi penggunaan I like aja ya gitu ya, I like. Tadi kan ada contohnya tuh pakai chance ya, coba deh pakai chance. Itu salah satunya. Misalnya mau pakai I like, do you like bla bla bla, sama kayak gitu chance. Misalnya do you like apa ya, misalnya hobbies ya, do you like singing? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Nah, kayak gitu. Itunya dibuat chance gitu. Nah, terus misalnya writing-nya gimana? Biarkan mereka nyanyi dulu, biarkan mereka ngucapin dulu, perkenalkan, tunjukkan tulisannya. Mereka cuma copywriting aja juga itu sudah termasuk writing. Gitu ya untuk anak-anak mah. Mengcopy saja gitu. Kita kasih contohnya, mereka mengcopy, it's okay. Oke, as long as they are still not able to construct their own sentences in writing, kasih contohnya saja, atau cuma ngisi satu huruf atau satu kata itu sudah cukup ya. Itu paling. Hopefully I answer your question ya.
Oke, siap. Terima kasih banyak, Miss, atas
My
jawabannya.
pleasure. Ada satu lagi Bu Pipit di sini, Miatul.
Oh iya, Ibu. Thank you so much, Ibu Tina. Ya, ini jadwalnya sampai 17.15, Ibu Tina, tapi bolehkah satu lagi
Boleh
saja,
banget. It's okay.
dari Mila ya, katanya what techniques can be used to keep young learners motivated and interested in learning English?
Yang tadi sebetulnya sudah disampaikan sih di materi saya bahwa how to make them motivated and interested in learning English itu jangan jauh dari tadi songs, games, chants, stories ya atau storytelling itu. Jadi jangan pernah jangan terlalu banyak menjelaskan intinya mah gitu ya. So to make them motivated, pokoknya create activities that are fun, interesting, but meaningful and contextual gitu. Jadi jangan hanya ngambil fun-nya aja, tapi terus nggak nyampe targetnya gitu ya. Kan tetap kita, even though we teach young learners, make sure that we have targets tadi. Target vocabulary-nya berapa, apa saja, lalu structure-nya seperti apa. Itu harus dalam pembelajaran bahasa ya, even though for children. Gitu sih. Kalau mau lebih lagi nanti mudah-mudahan ketemu lagi, mudah-mudahan ada waktu nanti saya kasih teknik-teknik yang lain. Ini baru 1 semester kalau ngomongin teknik.
Ya, meaningful and contextual. Penting
Yes,
sekali ya, teman-teman
sangat.
dicatat itu meaningful and contextual. Ini
Satu lagi terakhir.
kali cepat saja mungkin Bu, yes or no. Apakah tes seperti di kita di sini saya kelas 6. Ketika siswa
Diberi tugas sama
diberi
percakapan.
lalu dipraktikan, dihafal dulu. Nah, itu boleh atau tidak?
Kalau untuk anak-anak ya, tergantung levelnya juga itu boleh. boleh kalau untuk anak-anak mah ya gitu. Tapi kalau sudah semakin dewasa, teenagers gitu, diusahakan kan memang itu kan ada namanya controlled practice, ada guided practice, ada free practice kan gitu. Tahapan scaffoldingnya kayak gitu. Jadi kita guide dulu, control, baru free kan gitu. Nah untuk anak-anak itu di guide aja dulu guided practice, lalu mereka buat sendiri cuma copying doang gitu ya, atau mengganti beberapa kata itu masih control practice, nggak apa-apa ya, mereka menghafal pun tidak apa-apa. Probably from memorizing, later on they are able to construct their own sentences. Tapi sekali lagi jangan lupa satu aja kunci yang sering dilupakan oleh guru adalah memberikan feedback, ya, memberikan feedback. So after they practice and then ya udah bagusnya gitu, kasih weh nilainya ada 80, salah 80 gitu ya, atau 70. But the students probably because they don't get any feedback, jadi akhirnya ini bener nggak ya, udah bener belum ya kalimatnya, dan itu wajib guru itu giving feedback at the end, atau memberikan kesempatan siswa untuk merefleksikan tadi sudah belajar apa gitu ya, terus coba kalimat-kalimatnya apa, susah apa enggak kan gitu. Kebetulan karena penelitian saya tentang reflex practice, jadi saya gemes banget sama guru-guru yang kenapa sih nggak nyuruh siswanya merefleksikan gitu, walaupun masih anak-anak kan paling cuma ini aja ya checklist doang, misalnya we have provided the items, nah terus mereka suruh checklist sudah bisa belum membuat kalimat ini, sudah bisa atau belum menyebutkan atau mengucapkan kata-kata ini gitu. Nah terus kalau kelas 6 ya balik lagi bukan masalah kelasnya, tapi kemampuan bahasa Inggrisnya yang dilihat. Jadi walaupun kelas 6 mungkin yang sekolah non jauh di sana yang nyencat ke dalam gitu ya, mungkin kemampuannya kurang bagus, tidak apa-apa. Mau memorizing pun tidak apa-apa. Tapi jangan lupa feedback, perbaiki pengucapannya, perbaiki struktur kalimatnya. Gitu.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Ibu. Terima kasih banyak ya. Terima kasih
Ya.
juga Ardia, Mila, tadi Zaki ya yang bertanya, Nafis juga.
Ya.
Terima kasih atas jawabannya Ibu. So guys, I believe you took notes of this lecture, but allow me to share my summary of this session ya. Mungkin ini yang perlu kita highlight juga biar lebih ingat. Tadi dari awal, teaching grammar to young learners is important, but we have to provide them with relevant methods or techniques and also various activities, also using correct pronunciation. Tadi juga di-highlight bahwa beberapa kali oleh Bu Tina, repetition and recycling is very, very important. Kemudian yang barusan ada meaningful and contextual, jadi tidak bisa yang random barangkali seperti itu. Ini yang saya suka, children don't need scores. Tadi kata Ibu seperti itu ya Bu ya, but they need feedback more and reflection as well. So it's truly inspiring Ibu to see the way you teach young learners. And you guys, if you noticed, Ibu Tina use linking ya Ibu. Tadi kata Ibu tidak boleh dipanjang-panjang ketika misalnya this is a table. Tapi kalau kita notice tadi Ibu Tina pakai linking. Contohnya ketika bilang Ibu Tina mencontohkan this is a water bottle. This is a water bottle. Tidak this is a water bottle. Itu contoh dari Ibu sangat apa ya? Mudah-mudahan kita tiru ya di kelas kita nanti di kelas Young Learners. So kita sudah selesai melebihi waktu jadwal sesungguhnya Ibu.
It's
I'd like to
okay.
thank everyone for attending today's session. Your participation and engagement are much appreciated. Don't forget to fill out the attendance form. So I have shared it on the chat box. Tolong in the chat box, tolong diisi. I don't need to provide anyone with the certificate, tapi di sana sudah ada template-nya. So if you need the certificate, just go to that link and create your own certificate. Jadi tinggal bikin namanya, ya tulis namanya di sana, lalu download sendiri. Tidak disiapkan oleh saya, Ibu, ya semua mandiri. Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, special thanks to you, Ibu, for sharing your knowledge and experience.
Pleasure is mine, and thanks for inviting me. And today this session is so much fun, yeah, because you also have such great students, yeah. They participated well, got involved well, and then they ask questions. I really appreciate it. Suka banget. Nanti kapan-kapan mungkin saya bisa main ke kampusnya gitu ya. Nanti saya mah kalau offline saya ajak loncat-loncat ya gitu ya. Nyanyi-nyanyi loncat-loncat terus harus bergerak-gerak, you have to move and then playing games, moving here and there. Ya beneran you play your roles as children gitu. Pas saya bilang, aduh, saya nanti kapan-kapan mungkin ya ada waktu diundang lagi saya main ke sana ya.
Insya Allah, ya looking forward to it, Ibu. Ya bakalan seru kayaknya.
Or you just visit Unpad please. Visit
Iya,
Bogor.
Ya, ada Peltin dan Unpad Conference ya. Ini
Oh
jadi
ya,
jadi
ya.
iklan ya bulan depan, Ibu Tina.
Ya, ayolah
Ya, terima
ke
kasih
Bogor
banyak
ya.
sekali lagi. And
Ya.
we hope you all found this session as informative and engaging as we did. Ya, thank you everyone and have a great day. Meski tadi capek-capek dan ternyata di sini sangat engaged ya Bu ya, teman-teman semuanya. Terima kasih banyak. Alumni juga yang hadir hari ini, terima kasih. Ibu Tina, barangkali ada satu kalimat penutup dari Ibu untuk teman-teman TYL di sini.
Apa ya penutupnya ya? Tadi udah sih sebetulnya penutupnya, but well, I always say this to the pre-service teachers ya, calon-calon guru, never stop learning ya. If you would like to be teachers, never stop learning, and then never feel worried of your own ability in teaching because you need a long process ya to make yourself professional ya. So jangan pernah belajar, jangan pernah berhenti belajar pokoknya intinya gitu aja sih gitu ya. Dan tetap semangat. Semester berapa ini Bu Pipit?
6.
Semester 6. Berapa tahun lagi kuliahnya? Gak boleh lebih dari 8
tahun lagi.
semester ya, 1 tahun lagi ya. Jangan ditunda-tunda. Cepat jadi SPD ya, sarjana penuh sarjana percaya diri. Penuh duit, sarjana penuh duit.
Bukan penuh duka ya Ibu.
Jangan.
Thank you so much Ibu. Never stop learning. Insya Allah ya kita tidak akan berhenti belajar. Terima kasih banyak. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sehat selalu.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you. Kita taking pictures nggak sih sudah?
Almost
Taking
forgot to
pictures.
take a
Oh
picture.
yeah, I want
Okay,
everybody to turn on the camera. So
yeah, everyone please turn on your camera. I'm
if
going
it's
to
possible.
hang on a second. Ada yang belum semua ya, but that's okay. Okay, so we have here 2 slides, 2 pages, one, and then the second one. Itu gengnya siap-siap. Bye everyone. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
See
Bye,
you
Ibu Tina.
everyone. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yang di kampus itu di kampus di mana?
Eta mah pasti di tempat markas, di markas
Oh, di
eta mah.
markas.
Gaduh markas eta mah.
Terima
Mangga
kasih
Bu
ya.
Pipit, Pak Asep, hatur nuhun.
Terima kasih Pak Asep juga sudah
Ya.
bantu-bantu. Ada Pak Eko, Salsa, Teh Anissa, Masya Allah. Lain kali main ke Unper ya, praktik-praktik di kelas TIYL.